So this thing happened, y'all. Um, I posted a comment. I'm trying to gather my thoughts because this happened yesterday and I'm still kind of like reeling from it, but also, I mean, I got a lot of other things going on, so it's kind of like it's in the background. But still, I want to dissect it in a educational manner so that way because I want to learn, I want to start a conversation, and I want to invite others into this in a respectful way, right? Because what I've been seeing from what happened is a lot of illogical fallacies, personal attacks, the bilateral thinking, either or kind of thinking, red herring, and things of that nature that really it takes away from having a really good conversation, a conversation that kind of like educates and builds community, as opposed to disrupt and tear down. So I made a comment on this creator post, and she's a Dominican creator, and she posts about um, healthy foods and things of that nature. And she was saying something that is very factual, at least from my experience and from other people' experience, and that is how uh, Dominicans tend to push away the African ancestry and elevate and kind of like put up front that Spanish ancestry, regardless, right, of how they look physically. It's usually the norm, what generally happens. And I said in there a comment saying, based off of my interaction when I lived in Europe, was that usually Spanish, they tend to look down upon us, specifically Dominicans. They see us as not as cultured, not having as much decorum, and things of that nature. And I put that in there, and I literally just went back to doing other things. Um, I got a lot of things going on, and next thing you know, it was like 200 likes and various other comments on it. And like I said, some of them were disingenuous because they weren't really trying to get after having a deeper conversation, but it was more about either cultural purism, the comment of, well, real Dominicans, X, Y, and Z, um, or, well, maybe they just don't like you, personal attacks, and other comments like that that really just diverted away from the statement. And obviously, there were comments about, well, not all. And once again, it goes back to like, yeah, I'm not saying not all. I'm speaking about my experience. Your experience may be different. We can be in the same world, in the same grid square, and have different experiences, and both are valid. So it was those kind of comments, and I was like digitally getting attacked over this, which to me just showed that there is a problem. And something that I'm not the first one to point it out, and I'm pretty sure I won't be the last one to point it out. And it's been pointed out quite a lot of times, sometimes comically so, other times scholarly journal, and other mediums and other ways. But basically, it has been beaten into us to attach ourselves to the Spanish legacy, or else. And usually, or else is a violent or deadly or else. And we tend to forget about that. And we have kind of like pushed that away and turn that into something like, we don't talk about BRUNO, we don't talk about that fear. And then we created a new reality by not talking about that fear. And now when we come across anything that may tell us about that fear, we automatically shun it. And the fear is, what if we embrace our full identity? There's a fear there of not the unknown, there's a fear because of past protocols of what happened when you did embrace the African side of the Dominican legacy. So, and because of that, because that has been woven into us so, I want to say so badly, but it was done so well through tears and blood, violence, death, and all of that, that right now we're at a point where very few understand it. A lot don't acknowledge it or just push it away and either say it's not important to us. We don't acknowledge that in our country. It is different in our country and things of that nature. All of that just to get away from that uncomfortable space of having to acknowledge that. And it's wild when you think about it. It is wild that something that is literally in our blood gets shunned away. Fear is a powerful thing, people.